welcome to this week's video. Now this week's something a bit different. I've been contacted by the nice people at Xvive who asked me if I'd be interested in trying out one of their new guitar stands. So here it is, it's just arrived. I thought I'd show you me opening the box. Well, this is a nice quality box, look at that, here we are. This is a butterfly guitar stand. Now, the reason I'm doing this now, I'm actually in a bit of a hurry. I've got 2 gigs today, one on acoustic guitar and one on electric guitar. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity to take this out. So I'm quickly unboxing it before I go out, and then I shall make the rest of the video over the next couple of days. So no assembly required, made of metal, light and portable, and it certainly does feel light. This is a nice quality box which shows promise for the item concealed within. Right, here we go. Oh, comes with a nice sort of canvassy bag. Quite a heavy duty canvas bag. And here is the stand itself. Now that is light actually, and look, doesn't take up too much room. See, for me, what's going to interest me as to whether this is a useful kit is whether it fits neatly in my sort of current bags and cases that I take to gigs. And I shall show you what the stands are I use currently, and I'm hoping this might be able to replace them. This looks very nice. So right, how do we open it then? Now here we go, we've got some instructions here. See, nobody likes to read the instructions, do they? But I'm going to have to. Here we go. Oh, that was easy. I was expecting that to be more complicated. I didn't really need to read the instructions, did I? So there we are, look at that. I think you twist this around as well. Oh, there we go. Which makes it, looks like it's nice and stable. Right, well I'm going to take this on this gig. I'm going to do some proper reviews on this later. There's a magnetic bit there that keeps it together. I shall take some video of this with my acoustic guitar, then my electric guitar on it later on, but that's looking pretty promising. I'm liking the look of it. I shall report back later. I was just about to go and I thought this would be useful, wouldn't it? Let's see how nicely it fits in this bag. Look, it says Xvive on the bag. Here we go. Lovely, look at that, fits in there. Right, let's go and do a couple of gigs, see how the stand works out. I'm back from the 2 gigs, so how did it perform? Well, here's a bit of footage. Here we are on the first gig. I'm taking it out of the case. I shall show you in a bit more detail later how well it fits in the case. And there it is, my dreadnought sized acoustic guitar. Now, I was really impressed with the way it gripped the acoustic guitar, particularly. This is the, I think, my favourite feature of it. And with that bar at the back, it's got quite a wide footprint, so the guitar feels really stable. Later on, I've got my Les Paul. This is my most expensive guitar that costs more than my car, so I'm always a bit wary about leaving it on a stand, but it feels surprisingly sturdy. I mean, the things with the nature of these stands that don't hold the top of the guitar, they're always susceptible to being knocked from the back and knocked on their front, but I mean, that's just the nature of this type of stand. But as it goes, it's really stable. And then we tried the bass guitarist 5-string jazz bass, which is slightly offset, and as you can see, it's still sat very nicely in it. So I think part of the reason why the guitars feel so safe in it is these, I don't know what they are, whether they're silicone or rubber, what type of they are, but they're nice and grippy. In fact, it does say on here somewhere, rubber is safe for most, but not all such nitrous, easy for me to say, nitrous cellulose lacquer finishes. But they are nice and grippy, and it does make it feel, particularly with the acoustic guitar as it sits in this cradle which almost perfectly fits a dreadnought depth guitar. It feels really stable, like it's not going to fall over. So I want to show you the stands that I normally use, or I have been using for many years. First of all, I'm going to show you, I made a bit of a meal of setting this up when I first opened the box, but it's not, it's really simple. It's literally, you open the 2 legs there, and then you just twist this back bit, and it's really stable because it's got quite a wide footprint, so it's pretty stable like that. But as I said before, the only problem with this type of guitar stand is obviously when you've got a guitar sat on it like that, it can be knocked forward like that, but that is the nature of all compact guitar stands. So let me show you the ones that I have been using for many years. Now this is the type of compact stand that I've been using for a long time, and if I show you, part of the reason why I use this is because it fits really nicely into my pedal board, slotted along the side. But this stand, once folded up and put into this bag, actually did sit on top of my pedals, and I could zip it in the bag as well, so that's a positive for this. The other thing I'd like to show you is I've weighed the two of them. For those of you who want it in pounds and ounces, that's £1.12, and my current stand is £2, so slightly heavier. And if you want it in grams, if we're in not in America, it's 800 grams, the Xvive stand, and then my old one is 911 grams, so it's slightly heavier. So this is the stand I've been using these stands for many years. I have had a few durability issues with these, but it would be unfair to compare that to the Xvive stand because obviously I've only just got that. But generally these are pretty good, and I'll show you a video in a minute. All the stands I've got here, I've shown with different types of guitars I'm putting on them, how they compare in that way. But apart from this being a little bit heavier, it does take up slightly less room actually. Let's just show you. So the kind of depth of that and the depth of that are fairly similar. That is a little bit deeper, but obviously it's got a sort of a smaller footprint that way. Now of course this stand will only take electric guitars. They do an acoustic version of this, and this is a pretty good stand. I mean, I've used these for a long time, and I've not really had any guitars fall over on this. I mean, obviously they're susceptible to the same thing of it being knocked over. But when I got my more expensive Gibsons, which you can see here, Gibsons are generally a bit more fragile than Fenders. With my Strats and my Telecasters, I was quite happy putting them on here because, you know, if they get knocked off, they largely survive. A Gibson, the headstocks tend to fall off. So I got a different stand, which I actually originally bought for acoustic guitar. One of these Hercules hanging stands. Originally I bought it for acoustic guitar, but I do, if I'm on a gig and I've got either of my Gibsons, I use this stand because, as I keep mentioning, this doesn't suffer from the same problem. Because it's being gripped from the top, the guitar is sort of protected from being knocked over from the back and forward. But I have durability issues with this, as you can see here as well. I've only had this stand about 18 months, maybe 2 years, and the clasp not only has one of the thingies fallen out here and I've had to put a nail through to repair it, this part of the mechanism is broken as well. So, you know, these ones used for years and years with no problem. Well, a slight problem, but I won't go into that because that's not fair. But this, I can definitely say that this, because it's a moving mechanism, although it's a brilliant mechanism, it hasn't lasted. But what I'd like to show you, this is a bit nerdy, and I've got my slippers on in these clips, but I want to show you me putting the different types of guitars on all three of these stands, just so you can see how it compares. So I'll show you the Xvive stand first. So there we are, let's put my Dreadnought size guitar on it. It really is stable. It, you know, side to side, backwards and forwards, apart from being knocked from behind, not flying, but I think even that would survive because it grips it quite well. Now here we are with the Les Paul. Again, from all angles, apart from being knocked from the back, it's pretty sturdy. Same with the Strat. They all fit really easily and nicely onto the stand. And then my 335, just to show you the bigger bodied electric. They all fit on this different bit of the clip. Let me just show you that. Now this is a clever design. You've got this two areas where it can grip. So the acoustic guitar and the Dreadnought seems to fit really snug. I mean, maybe a slimmer bodied acoustic wouldn't fit quite as snugly, but it really feels like it won't tip particularly either way. I mean, obviously you bash it from the back, it will, but and then the electrics, they're at a more upright angle and they fit into here. And again, it feels very sturdy because these rubber pads seem to grip the guitar body pretty well. Back to the nerdy video. This is my only offset guitar, and obviously with the nature of these stands is it slightly wobbles, but it fits perfectly well. So the next stand I want to show you is the hanging one, and obviously this has advantages that the guitar can't be knocked forward, and it will take all types of guitars, even offset, because it's not sitting, the offset bit isn't sitting on anything, it's hanging. And of course the main disadvantage with this one is it's a much bigger stand, and I have to take this in my mic stand bag, or I've got a mic stand bag so I can keep this and the mic stand in it, otherwise I'll just carry the mic stand. But you know, it is a bigger stand, it's a different thing really, it's not a compact stand. And now let me just show you the Hercules stand. Again, I can't show you the acoustic guitar because this one isn't an acoustic guitar one, although you can get them. And it's pretty good, I have to say. You know, I've not really had any guitars fall out of this stand, and it is pretty sturdy. Even with the offset, it sits quite nicely. So on balance, I would say from all these stands, from my experience, I've used lots of other stands in the past. I've had those ones where you've got the the bit at the top that you lean it in, so they're this kind of size, but they haven't got a gripping mechanism at the top. You just lean the guitar back, and some of them you've got a rubber bit that goes across the top. But again, they're much bigger stands. They're a different thing. This is a compact stand, much like the other one of mine, and it's really nice and lightweight. It's beautifully made. I can't fault the engineering. I don't think there's going to be any durability problems, but you can't tell really till you start using it in anger. So my conclusion, I'm really impressed with this stand. I think this is going to replace my stand that I keep in my pedal board. I've been using these stands for, it's difficult to say how long, over 15 years I think. This is the third one I've had, as I've worn the others out through use. That does fit slightly better in my pedal board. This does still fit. Once I put it in the bag, I can lay it on top of the pedals and it will still zip up. But the electric guitars do feel slightly safer in this, partly because of the rubber, the angle that it sits at, because it's got this bit on the back. It gives it more side-to-side rigidity. And for acoustic guitar, the acoustic guitar feels incredibly safe on this. Obviously this does hold it better, but we have durability issues and it takes up much more room. I'm fine with that if I've got it in my mic stand bag because I'm carrying it anyway. But if I'm going to go to an acoustic gig, I'm not taking mic stands because everything's there. This, I can stick it in the bag. In fact, let me show you this. I can just stick it in the bag and it slides into the acoustic guitar case very nicely, and that's all I need. So I'm not even carrying an extra thing. So I think it's brilliant. I think out of reflection on these 3 stands I've shown you, and out of all the stands I've ever used, this is probably the single best stand when I take into account everything: weight, how compact it is, and how rigid it feels. So there we are. It gets the thumbs up from me. The Xvive butterfly guitar stand. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I bring out new videos at 7 PM UK time every Friday, so I hope to see you next week.